My child, do not ignore this. Archangel Michael stands at your door with a message that will shock you. The moment you read this, something unseen leaned closer. Heaven noticed your name today, and the weight of what is written over your life made the air feel heavy. There has been confusion around you, whispers you never agreed to, stories you never lived. Someone reached into the dark and tried to stitch your name to a wrong that is not yours. They hoped you would stumble. They expected you to panic. They imagined your future shrinking. But heaven saw it all. Listen carefully, because this is where the story turns. God says, wait, you must hear this word before you take another step. Do not skip this. Your freedom is hanging by a single thread. And this thread is in my hands. What feels fragile to you is already held securely above you. What feels like pressure is actually protection closing in. Nothing has slipped past divine sight, not even the quiet lies spoken behind closed doors. Pay attention to who is near you, not who is loud. Archangel Michael says, the accuser is not a stranger. It is someone close, someone who pretends to smile in your face, yet plants poison behind your back. This is why your spirit felt uneasy without a clear reason. This is why certain conversations felt cold even when words sounded kind. A name is being mentioned where you cannot hear it, in places where plans are made without your consent. That is not coincidence. That is exposure beginning. This message found you because timing matters. This is not meant for a crowd or a scroll-through moment. It reached you now because delay carries risk. There is urgency in the air, and those who wished you harm are already celebrating too early. They think the trap is closed. They think the ending is fixed. But heaven is louder than their confidence, and this is not where your story ends. Do not let fear decide your next move. God says, I beg you, listen, for if you ignore this word you will pay a price you never deserved to carry. Protection is not something you earn later, it is being released now. But it asks something of you in return. Stay present, stay steady, and do not let doubt rush you away from truth. What unfolds next will feel unexpected, but it will not be accidental. Keep your eyes open, even in silence. As you receive this, Archangel Michael is already standing between you and the false witness who tried to weaponize their words. God says, your name is being written in light, not in the chains of a prison cell. But beware, this revelation is time-sensitive. Heaven says, act now, for in delay lies danger. Acting does not mean reacting. It means remaining aligned when pressure tries to bend you. There is more happening than you can see. Witnesses will rise without being asked. Truth will surface from places meant to stay hidden. Messages that were buried will find air. Records that were ignored will speak. God says, the courtroom of heaven does not miss a whisper. Every false tongue has an answer waiting for it, but you must refuse to carry fear. Fear is not protection. Fear is bait. Let it go. Guard your words and your heart. Archangel Michael says, prepare your heart, gather your courage, and keep your mouth closed until the right moment. Do not mirror their poison. Do not rush to defend yourself in anger. Heaven unmasks lies best when you stand still in truth. This season is both a test and a reversal, and reversals are quiet before they are clear. Watch how the tables turn without noise. Those who plan to bind you will feel trapped by their own schemes. God says there will be a moment when a detail shifts, a file appears, a sentence is spoken that changes everything. When that moment comes, remember that you stayed grounded. Do not let bitterness take root. Rise with patience. Soft hearts see further than hardened ones. Move wisely when clarity arrives. A name will be spoken. The ground will feel different beneath your feet. God says, when you hear it, do not be quick to rejoice publicly. Let justice move at its pace. Quiet victories are the purest. Archangel Michael says, gather the evidence you have, hold it like a seed, and present it when heaven opens the door. Move calmly. Move steadily. What is true does not need to rush. Understand the motive so it loses its power. God reveals that the one who accused you was driven by envy, by the desire to take what was never meant for them. They wanted your place, your favor, your future. But what is assigned to you cannot be transferred. What is guarded by heaven cannot be stolen. Stay aligned, stay patient, and let the ending unfold differently than anyone expected. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $10. They tried to dress themselves in your life, but the fabric rejects them. The story they stitched around your name will not sit right because lies never carry weight for long. Truth pulls things back into order, slowly but surely, like gravity restoring balance. Hold steady in what you know is real. Speak calmly. Let facts breathe. Lies collapse when they run out of air, and they always do. Stay alert, because help is already moving toward you. An ally you did not expect is being stirred, someone from your past you assumed was far away. They will return carrying proof, and when they do, do not be shocked. God moves people quietly, like pieces placed long before the final move is visible. Do not run. Running confuses the innocent and empowers the guilty. Stand tall. Let your posture be prayer and your stillness be preparation. Write everything down, even what feels too small to matter. God says, prepare your testimony. Write it down. Remember the smallest details, the times, the places, the faces. What you overlooked before will become your shield now. Small details preserve truth. They harden it. They turn memory into armor that cannot be bent. Move with wisdom, not speed. Archangel Michael says, there will be officers of the law who will be confused, who will want to take the easy route. Do not let haste steal justice from you. Seek counsel that is steady and unafraid. God blesses wisdom. Remember this: miracles are not always loud. Sometimes they look like a single page, a letter signed, a message sent at the exact hour it was needed. Small doors can swing entire futures. Refuse every shortcut that costs your name. God warns, some will try to bargain with you. Offers to make it go away at the cost of your dignity. Do not trade your identity for temporary quiet. What you protect now becomes the ground you will stand on tomorrow. Archangel Michael says, I am at your side. You are not defending yourself alone. Steps taken against you are already recorded, and your defense is forming where you cannot see. Do not leave now, because the shift is close. God says, what happens next will shock you. A voice long silent will speak. Something hidden will surface and drown the noise of accusation. When sudden storms rise, do not panic. Storms clear space. After them, fruit grows where shadows once lived. Keep a record of your prayers. Write dates. Write names. Heaven reads written faith like a map and moves with precision. Protect what matters most while truth does its work. Archangel Michael commands you to guard your family and shield those you love from the spillover of lies. Gather trusted people, legal counsel, and truthful witnesses. This is not fear. This is holy preparedness. God honors a prepared heart. Do not rush to judge those who go quiet. Silence is not always betrayal. Time will reveal motives better than anger ever could. If this word strengthens you, stay connected to it. There is more coming, and staying present matters. When truth begins to surface, you will need clarity, not distraction. A document will appear, a message, a record that turns accusations to dust. God says, when it appears, recognize it and hold it up like a banner. Be ready to see it when it arrives. Slow down when others rush. Archangel Michael says, the accuser will try to move quickly to inflame public opinion. Do not mirror their urgency. The impatient response feeds the liar. Breathe. Let patience speak for you. When the right moment comes and you finally speak, the room will change. Justice sometimes walks slowly so it cannot be undone. Guard your integrity above everything else. God says, do not be anxious about the names. Be anxious about your integrity. The one who chose you as a target was driven by a wound they never healed. Their pain explains nothing and excuses nothing. Desperation exposes itself. Watch your circle. Some will step back to protect their image. Let them go. The ones who remain, ordinary people with honest hearts, will hold you steady when everything shakes. Protect your future with care. Archangel Michael warns you not to sign anything without counsel. Words and signatures carry weight. Choose guidance that respects truth and fears God. When labels are thrown at you, sit in prayer and let heaven define you. There will be nights when sleep escapes and fear knocks loudly. In those moments, speak peace aloud. Peace is not passive. It is strength in action. Trust the pause that is coming. Archangel Michael states there will be a moment when a decision maker hears something that makes them stop. That pause will change direction. Do not try to force outcomes through control or manipulation. Leave the orchestration to heaven. What is unfolding now is not chaos. It is alignment, and alignment always feels uncomfortable before it feels victorious. Stay grounded now, because your role is not noise but strength. Honesty, patience, and steady prayer are your assignment in this hour. God is arranging outcomes with a wisdom you could never imitate, and that is why you must not rush ahead of Him. God promises that what is hidden will surface in unexpected ways: small physical details, unforeseen witnesses, quiet evidence that changes direction. Heaven rescues through details. Never dismiss what looks insignificant, because the smallest piece often carries the heaviest truth. Watch closely, because truth does not always arrive loudly. Sometimes it shows up as hesitation in the accuser's voice, a pause they cannot explain, a missing thread in their story. Lies collapse where they cannot bear the weight of fact. Pay attention to the cracks. They will widen on their own. You do not need to force exposure. Exposure follows truth naturally, like daylight following night. Keep your heart clean as the unveiling begins. Archangel Michael commands, when the unveiling begins, do not gloat. Victory is not humiliation of another, it is alignment with heaven. If your accuser falls, God calls you to pray for their healing, not to delight in their downfall. Mercy is the mark of maturity. Forged stories may appear convincing for a moment, but God exposes forgery through small inconsistencies. Truth has a fingerprint that cannot be duplicated. Look beyond the trial, because this is not your ceiling. After the dust settles, doors that once refused to open will move without resistance. What was meant to harm you will be used to lift you into a new season. This is divine reversal, and reversal demands endurance. Quick wins fade quickly. Steady restoration lasts. Plant small seeds of faith daily and watch them become testimony in time. Stay open, because help will arrive from unexpected directions. Archangel Michael whispers that a message will come from someone you did not anticipate: a relative, a coworker, a neighbor carrying a piece of truth. Guard it carefully. Do not allow shame to push you into hiding. Shame belongs to deception. Innocence walks openly. When people see you, let calm be what meets their eyes. Fear feeds false narratives. Peace starves them. Prepare your words before pressure arrives. God says, prepare for questions. Shape short, honest answers that do not inflame but do not surrender truth either. Practice them in prayer. Words formed in peace carry authority when spoken under fire. Archangel Michael urges you to protect children and elders around you. Slander spreads fast, but gentle truth travels farther. Offer clarity quietly so others can stand with you without chaos. Do not be shaken when perceptions shift suddenly. God says the next revelation will shock even those who doubted you. Rumors will lose oxygen and facts will take their place. If betrayal comes from someone you loved, allow yourself to grieve without letting grief design your future. Pain acknowledged heals. Pain buried controls. Choose healing. Become meticulous, because order strengthens truth. Archangel Michael instructs you to document everything: calls, messages, meetings, dates. A clear record becomes a fortress. When truth must be proven, details stand guard. Refuse any offer that asks you to trade silence for comfort. Integrity is worth more than money, status, or ease. God promises restoration, but restoration walks with humility. Accept help. Rebuild patiently. Let trust return at its own pace. Stand firm when your memory is questioned. Archangel Michael warns that some will attempt to gaslight you, to make you doubt what you know is real. Memory anchored in detail resists confusion. Specifics cut through fog. Remember, the accuser's motive is rooted in an unhealed wound. God opposes the sin but still sees the soul. Pray quietly for them and release grudges before they harden your spirit. Do not fear the legal steps ahead. Unexpected hearings, questions, or notices may arise, but treat each as a checkpoint for truth. Prepare carefully with wise counsel. Respond calmly. Archangel Michael proclaims that while human systems move slowly, heaven's verdict is already set. When you live by the higher court, lower courts often follow. Lift your face, because posture shapes atmosphere. Even in uncertainty, there is dignity in lifted eyes. Faith changes rooms before words are spoken. God reveals there will be a tangible sign after this trial, a call, an apology, an opportunity that restores what was questioned. Receive it not as luck, but as closure to a storm. Balance urgency with restraint as you move forward. Delay carries danger, but haste lacks holiness. Prayer teaches you when to step and when to wait. Peace will tell you the difference. Archangel Michael instructs you to choose clarity over volume. Simple truth cuts cleanly. God says exposure will come not only through evidence but through conscience. Conscience often betrays deception first. Do not allow shame to exile you into silence. This chapter does not end with you hidden. It ends with you standing steadier, wiser, and restored, having walked through fire without losing your name. Use this season wisely, because pain is being reshaped into purpose. Many who walk through false accusation later become voices for justice, guides for the wounded, protectors for the unheard. What tried to break you is already being reformed into calling. God can do that. What feels like loss now is quietly becoming authority. You are not just surviving this chapter, you are being trained by it. Look ahead, because your voice will matter after the storm. Archangel Michael whispers, prepare a small statement of testimony for when this season ends. It does not need to be long or dramatic. A single paragraph, shaped by honesty and humility, will one day become light for someone trapped where you once stood. Your story will not glorify pain, it will expose lies and point others toward hope. Pay attention now, because this is the hinge moment. God says, do not skip this. This is the turning point. Stay present. Stay awake. Your name will be cleared. Your life will be rebuilt. But hear the warning wrapped inside the promise: when vindication comes, do not return to the old patterns that left you exposed. Build new boundaries. Wisdom after rescue is what keeps freedom intact. Receive protection, not revenge. Archangel Michael blesses your path, guards your steps, and sharpens your words. May every scheme collapse under its own weight. May your household be covered, and may no child connected to you ever carry shame that was never theirs. God says the final pages of this chapter will be written by mercy and truth together. Expect both. Mercy that heals. Truth that restores. Do not slow down in doubt when movement is required. Delay gives deception time to reinforce itself. Move forward with prayer, with counsel, with patience, and with the fierce protection of heaven surrounding you. Where darkness once moved freely, light is now being installed. Where slander traveled, truth is building a road that cannot be erased. Refuse false peace, because it always comes at a hidden cost. Easy silence that sells your integrity is never peace at all. True peace grows from truth, even when truth walks slowly. Hold to it. Compromise may promise comfort, but it always charges more than it gives. What you protect now will protect you later. Lift your eyes, because the pressure is about to shift. You may feel time tightening, as if only moments remain, but God is not ruled by clocks. When others say it is over, God says it is just beginning. This word reached you now because schemes against you reached their peak, and heaven will not allow them to cross the line. Remember who surrounds you, even when you feel alone. You are not walking uncovered. You are moving under divine protection. Archangel Michael says the one who accused you believed their lies would outrun your truth. But truth does not expire. Lies burn fast and collapse into smoke. In the coming days, something long overlooked will surface and speak for you. Stay open, because revelation is close. A forgotten detail, a neglected record, a witness suddenly remembering will emerge. Do not close your heart too early or you may miss the exact key meant to unlock what has been sealed. God whispers that the ground beneath your accuser is shifting. What they built on instability will not stand. Notice why this feels personal, because it is. This message is not for everyone. It reached you because heaven is already intervening. You feel the weight of it because the moment is real. You are standing at the edge of a miracle. What was designed to restrain you will become the platform that elevates you. Do not fear the noise, the paperwork, or the rumors. Archangel Michael says heaven's record outweighs every earthly accusation. But here this clearly delay is dangerous. Do not linger in uncertainty. Align your faith. Speak life deliberately. Say it until the atmosphere responds. Words are seeds, and you decide what grows. Stand firm when your past is dragged forward. The accuser will stretch old shadows and try to redefine you by moments that no longer hold authority. God says your past has been washed. What once looked like a stain now carries testimony. No shadow can cancel redemption. Choose silence wisely, because it can be a shield. Do not answer every insult or chase every rumor. Archangel Michael says your calm will unsettle their plans. Watch how alliances built on falsehood begin to fracture. You will not need to expose anyone. Truth will do that work for you. Stay present now, because exposure is unfolding. Masks will slip. Words will betray their speakers. Plans will unravel without your interference. This moment was reserved for you because the battle required more than your strength. Heaven has been fighting where you could not. Breathe, because the weight is lifting. Even now, something heavy is breaking apart. Your name is being carried where judgments are rewritten. What comes next will not be rushed, but it will be complete. Stay steady. Stay faithful. This is not the end of the message. It is the beginning of your restoration. I see justice shifting, and the balance is no longer neutral. The scales are moving, slowly but surely, toward your side. What once felt frozen is beginning to respond. But hear this clearly: God says, patience is your armor. Do not try to end the battle too quickly. Allow me to complete what I started. Rushing now would interrupt a work that is already unfolding with precision. What God finishes, no one can undo. Do not panic at false endings, because heaven does not recognize them. Archangel Michael says that even when doors appear to close, they cannot seal against a command from above. What looks final is often just a pause. What feels like confinement is sometimes protection in disguise. You are not being cornered, you are being positioned. Understand this balance, because it is not revenge, it is alignment. Your accuser will eventually stand in the place they tried to push you into. They will face the weight of their own choices. This is not you striking back. This is truth correcting itself. And you will walk out lighter, freer, and clearer than before, your name brighter because it passed through fire without burning. Your story is already becoming a lifeline for others. God says your testimony will rescue those who feel voiceless, confused, or trapped under false words. People you have never met will draw courage from what you endured. Stay faithful. Stay present. Even now, unseen protection surrounds your home, your work, and your inner world. Pay attention, because the unseen is more active than the visible. Documents are moving. Conversations are happening where you are not invited. Decisions are being reconsidered behind closed doors. But heaven says the lies planted against you are already losing strength. What they meant to bind you is rusting before it can tighten. You are seen, even in the nights no one else notices. God sees the sleepless hours, the pressure in your chest, the fear that tomorrow might bring humiliation. But tomorrow also carries light you have not yet imagined. Answers are closer than they appear. Do not skip this moment, because clarity is forming right now. Watch the accuser carefully, because confidence can be an illusion. Archangel Michael says that while they appear calm in public, their private world is unraveling. Conscience is beginning to speak, and it is loud. Lies are uncomfortable to carry for long. Every false word becomes weight on the one who spoke it. If you feel resistance pulling at you, that is not coincidence. Stay here. Stay focused. This message carries instruction meant to shield you. Heaven's record is already written, and what is written there cannot be erased by any earthly authority. Innocent. Protected. Covered. This moment was chosen deliberately. It is not meant for everyone, only for you. Your enemies are celebrating too early because they believe the outcome is sealed. But God says the ending they imagined is not the ending He authored. What they planned has reached its limit. Do not fear judgment rooms or loud crowds. Archangel Michael declares that even if you are brought into places meant to weigh you down, he will stand beside you. False witnesses will falter. Words will stumble. Noise will rise, but noise is unstable. Truth stands without effort. Expect the unexpected, because help is already assigned. A surprising ally will step forward, someone you never thought would speak. They will carry something that shifts the entire direction. Accept the help without suspicion. It was positioned long before you knew you needed it. Do not let despair rename you. Wear hope intentionally, even when circumstances try to strip it away. God says do not close your ears too early, because one instruction can protect years of your life. Timing matters now more than ever. Be meticulous, because details are weapons of light. Archangel Michael says to record dates, moments, patterns, even the small things others dismiss. These details will dismantle lies piece by piece. Do not answer anger with anger. Calmness and pressure confuses deception and exposes it. Ask yourself why this attack targeted you. Even mud can become clay in God's hands, and from clay he forms vessels of honor. Your story is not ending in disgrace. It is being reshaped into testimony. What tried to humiliate you will elevate you. Pray quietly for the one who knows the truth but has not spoken yet. Someone close is standing at a crossroads between loyalty to deception and loyalty to righteousness. Their decision will open a crack where light enters. Do not underestimate the power of a single choice made in fear or courage. Brace yourself, because pressure often precedes release. A storm may rise, but inside it is your breakthrough. When it clears, positions will reverse. God says He is exposing the lie at its root. Even those who supported it will begin to question it. Do not grow tired of waiting, because waiting is weakening the opposition. Every day you keep your peace strengthens your position. Every night you pray loosens their grip. Archangel Michael says the conflict is nearing its peak, and peaks signal change. Hear this promise, because it reaches beyond survival. God says your reward is not only freedom from accusation but elevation beyond what you imagined. The stage meant for shame will become a platform for restoration. Time is not running out. Heaven holds time itself. Rest in this truth as the message deepens. The attack was planned, fueled by jealousy that hardened into intent. But God says He has been watching every step. Nothing has escaped record. What was written against you will be overwritten by truth, and your name will stand intact as this chapter closes and a new one opens. Every word spoken against you is being measured, not forgotten. Nothing was casual, nothing slipped by unnoticed. Divine scales are already moving, and they are exact. Do not be intimidated by whispers or secret meetings. Archangel Michael says, your name is not theirs to destroy. Your destiny is not theirs to rewrite. What they tried to bind you with is already reshaping into their own restraint. Balance is being restored. Do not grow careless now, because timing matters more than ever. This moment is urgent, not to frighten you, but to focus you. Every second you stay anchored in truth, you are wrapped in light. This word reached you now because your situation is active in places you cannot see. Discussions are happening, decisions forming, but heaven's voice is stronger than every hidden agenda. Hear this clearly, because preparation is already complete. God says, the trap is real, but the escape is prepared. The prison door is visible, but the key is already in my hand. What looks threatening is already outmatched. Stay attentive. What unfolds next will not go the way they planned. Understand the weakness of darkness, because it cannot stay united. Archangel Michael reveals that your accuser gathered others, recruiting voices to repeat lies. But unity built on falsehood fractures under pressure. When truth heats the room, they will turn on each other. Darkness collapses inward. You do not need to expose it, it will expose itself. Acknowledge the loneliness without letting it define you. You felt the absence of support, the silence where defense should have been. Some stepped back. Some disappeared. But God says, I am bringing you allies you have not yet seen. Forgotten witnesses, overlooked papers, old messages waiting to resurface. These are already being positioned. Do not misread patience as loss. Waiting is not defeat. Every day you endure, the false story weakens at its edges. God says His justice waits until lies overextend themselves. Then truth enters with force. Precision is not delay. It is strategy. Refuse the bait of reaction. Archangel Michael whispers, do not be provoked. Arguments are traps meant to twist your posture. Silence will preach louder than defense. Guard your heart. Control your tone. Calmness will disarm confusion. Your tears were not wasted, and your nights were not empty. Heaven recorded every cry, every breath released in exhaustion. Those prayers are tipping the scales now. Mercy is preparing to pour. Fear has no authority here. Speak faith, even when it shakes. Heaven understands trembling faith. Watch for the subtle signs, because guidance is already being sent. God says He is speaking through dreams, sudden memories, unexpected connections. These are not accidents. They are markers leading you forward. Stay attentive. Discernment will protect you. Notice the cracks forming in the lie. Archangel Michael declares that the false accuser already stumbled. A careless phrase, a misstep, an inconsistency they missed. Light is entering through those fractures. You do not need to widen them. Truth will. Even if you stand in places meant to intimidate, you will not stand alone. Courtrooms, offices, authority figures do not intimidate heaven. Angels occupy space unseen. God says He is the judge above all judgment, and His verdict stands firm. Innocence is already written. Hold mercy tightly when exposure comes. When lies unravel, do not celebrate downfall. Pray for healing. Mercy is strength, not surrender. It will lift you higher than bitterness ever could. Protect your home with intention. Your family may feel the tremors of this storm. Be gentle. Speak peace. Do not let slander cross your threshold. Your steadiness will anchor them. Resist confrontation before its time. The name of the accuser will become clear. Do not rush to face them. Wait. Watch. Their own structure will collapse without your hand lifting a stone. God says the tables are turning. Prepare yourself for sudden clarity. Archangel Michael commands readiness because exposure will arrive quickly, not gradually. Like lightning, it will divide truth from deception. When it happens, stand still. Let truth speak. Breathing calmly will be your response. You are closer than you think. Do not quit now. Breakthrough is steps away. God says what was prepared to shame you will reverse into honor. Reputation will be restored. Blessings will follow restoration. Remember why the attack came. You were chosen. Chosen people are often tested, but never abandoned. Heaven guards what it selects. Stay aligned. Stay listening. This message is still unfolding. Your breath matters. Your prayers matter. Even now, unseen hands are moving through documents, memories, conversations. Threads are being pulled together into order. What looked scattered is becoming clear. This storm is revealing your foundation. Archangel Michael says storms do not destroy truth-based ground, they expose it. What is weak will fall away. What is strong will remain. That is the purpose. Ignore the noise and follow the quiet instruction. Gossip shouts but carries no depth. The steady voice urging patience is your compass. Follow it. Wait when told to wait. Move when peace signals go. Stay here, because truth is still rising. What was whispered will surface. What was hidden will be named. You are not late. You are on time. Heaven has not finished speaking, and your deliverance is closer than it has ever been. Listen closely now, because heaven already knows the name spoken in secret. God says, I know who lifted their hand against you and why. Nothing about this caught heaven off guard. Motives that even the accuser does not fully understand are being exposed layer by layer. Fear and brokenness push them forward, but sin does not get the final word. One day, they will meet the same mercy you are choosing to pray for now. Shift your focus, because preparation begins from the inside out. Yes, gather your legal papers, but first strengthen your spiritual defenses. Put on the helmet of salvation. Secure the belt of truth. Lift the shield of faith. These are not symbols meant for imagination alone. They are daily disciplines, practiced in prayer, carried into every room you enter. Walk with dignity wherever eyes are watching. Archangel Michael commands you to stand calmly before witnesses, to let peace be visible on your face. People read hearts through posture and tone. Show them a heart that has not been broken beyond recognition. Do not accept self-condemnation. Being human is not the same as being guilty. Heaven sees your integrity even when others hesitate. Do not run when pressure intensifies, because refinement happens there. God says when the storm rises, step into it with faith. Inside the storm is your shaping. Fire does not exist to destroy gold, but to reveal it. What feels unbearable is separating what does not belong from what will remain. Expect disappointment without letting it poison you. Someone you believed would speak up may stay silent, and that silence will hurt deeply. Do not allow pain to harden into bitterness. Bitterness becomes a second prison. Break it with prayer first, and with honest conversation later when wisdom allows. Pay attention to the smallest signals, because help often whispers. Archangel Michael whispers to watch for unexpected signs: a call from a forgotten number, a message left behind, a receipt tucked away. These fragments will assemble into protection. Even if the structure looks incomplete at first, faith fills what evidence has not yet reached. Refuse every deal that trades truth for comfort. God urges you not to bargain away your dignity. Offers may come wrapped in ease and silence, but the cost of compromise is always greater. Let truth stand, even when it demands patience. Prepare clarity before confusion demands it. Craft a short, honest testimony of who you are, what you value, and how you live. Not a defense, but a clear statement of identity. When the moment comes, clarity will cut through noise faster than long explanations. Do not fear intimidation tactics, because courage spreads quietly. Archangel Michael says witnesses may be pressured, but God moves in hearts beyond coercion. Courage will rise where you least expect it. Stay connected to those who have proven faithful before. One true voice outweighs many shallow ones. Watch for unlikely evidence, because heaven hides help in ordinary places. A forgotten camera, a neighbor's note, an old message saved by habit. These crumbs will become sustenance for your defense. God multiplies small things. Release shame before it settles into your bones. Shame is heavy, and it does not belong to you. Share your burden with those who love you. Community steadies the soul. 2 or 3 hearts aligned in love can hold you upright when accusation tries to pull you down. Guard your mind with discipline, because confusion is a weapon. Archangel Michael commands you to write everything down as memory returns. Dates, words, places. Written truth resists distortion. Walk carefully. Speak plainly. Build rhythms of prayer and rest. Stability protects clarity. Do not be shaken by confident lies, because confidence is not truth. God says false witnesses may speak boldly, but truth does not need performance. Wait. The pieces will align. They always do. When alliances crack, respond with grace, not mockery. A name will form in the eyes of one who thought themselves safe. Their confidence will fade. Offer mercy when repentance appears. Mercy will be remembered longer than triumph. Understand that this victory reaches deeper than your reputation. Archangel Michael whispers that restoration is not only about clearing your name, but healing your soul. You will emerge more discerning, more compassionate, more anchored. Pain will become a bridge for others. Forgive when your heart is ready, not under pressure. Forgiveness frees you, not because the other is excused, but because you release the weight. God says peace cannot be purchased. It is received through trust in His justice. Choose restraint in public spaces, because timing matters. The enemy may stir opinion with crafted narratives. Do not answer everything. Speak when it counts. Silence can be strategy. When real evidence appears, let it stand on its own. Archangel Michael commands calm presentation. Truth spoken without frenzy dismantles lies more effectively than noise ever could. Look forward, because rebuilding is already planned. God rebuilds slowly and well. Reputation can be restored. Relationships can be mended. This season will place a testimony in your mouth that opens doors. Those who turned away will return to listen, not because you demanded it, but because truth has a voice that cannot be ignored. Stay steady now, because heaven is still writing. The chapter is not closed. What was broken is being reordered. Walk patiently. Speak wisely. Truth is rising, and your name will stand when this storm finally clears. What they will notice first is the light this season uncovered in you. Be ready to receive restoration without pride. Keep your heart tender even after pressure tried to harden it. The accuser will attempt to shape you into cynicism, but resist that mold. Tenderness is not weakness. It is proof you were refined, not ruined. A soft heart after a hard trial becomes a witness louder than any defense. Watch closely, because help will arrive in ordinary form. Archangel Michael whispers that a small document will surface: an old letter, an email, a signed note that quietly redirects a hearing. Guard it. Preserve it. Let it speak when the moment opens. Even the honest words of a child may crack a story built on strategy, because innocence carries a truth that cannot be rehearsed. Do not underestimate what heaven chooses to use. Learn the strength of quiet, because silence can be deliberate. Silence is not surrender when guided by wisdom. Speak when it matters. Otherwise, allow truth to unfold at its own pace. God says there will be nights when the weight feels unbearable. In those hours, offer one simple prayer and watch for a small sign the next day: a returned call, a remembered detail, a file rediscovered. These are not coincidences. They are signals that heaven is active. Lift your eyes beyond the trial, because the story continues. This chapter does not end you. The pages ahead hold restoration, renewed work, new friendships, and deeper devotion. What was meant for ruin is being turned toward renewal. Archangel Michael commands you not to be consumed by thoughts of revenge. Those thoughts steal peace and narrow the future. Invest instead in truth, prayer, and rebuilding higher than accusations ever reached. Expect support from unexpected authority. Someone respected, someone positioned, will step in at the right time to speak on your behalf. Receive that help with humility. God says to prepare to testify about grace, not just suffering. When vindication comes, share what mercy taught you. Testimony heals when it points to transformation rather than blame. Trust the form justice takes, even if it is quiet. Closure may arrive as a correction, an acknowledgement, or a private restitution. Accept the ending God provides. Archangel Michael whispers that this season sharpens discernment. Use it to protect those you love and to guard truth where you live and work. Celebrate small victories, the message that confirms your whereabouts, the witness who remembers, the morning when rest returns. These are signs the tide has turned. Remember what defines you when eyes are watching. God says false accusation will not be your name. Your response will be. Choose dignity, faith, and patience. When exposure comes, you will recognize it by an inner calm that says, "This is the hour." Archangel Michael commands you to hold one line of prayer daily, asking for truth to arrive swiftly and gently, for the innocent to be protected, for the wounded to be healed. Stay steady. Breathe. Keep faith. The rescue is close, and heaven is not late.